So I like to talk about the things I love in anime and manga a lot of the times, but today I wanted to take a break from that and talk about some of my problems I have within anime and manga. Things that kind of I see in anime and manga a lot nowadays that I really don't care for, I feel repetitive, or just overall get on my nerves. Alright, so definitely one of them I gotta say is lolis. If you don't know what a loli is, it's basically an over-sexualized, underage female character that they'll insert in a series and an anime or manga to bring in a certain demographic and a certain viewership in so that they can get more viewership and more readership. An example of a loli would be Wendy from Fairy Tail. That's an underage girl that a lot of times is put in certain positions where it feels very uncomfortable. And just overall, I don't like stuff like that in anime and manga. I think it's wrong. I feel as though a lot of times it throws me out of the mood and out of the zone because it's just like, this feels inappropriate, and it just really isn't necessary a lot of times, and I feel as though it's just mainly inserted for those said reasons that I said, pretty much to grab an audience and bring this audience to, watch or read the manga and anime, and a lot of times it's just like, I don't want that, I don't need it, and I feel it's just very wrong. If you want to have fan service in the series, that's one thing. I've always said I don't really care for fan service. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me as long as it's not totally destroying the story or distracting from the story. I don't mind fan service. But when it comes to lolis, that just really annoys me, and I feel like it's just morally wrong. I don't want to see a 13-year-old or 12-year-old female character be put in certain provocative positions in general and in the story that I'm trying to enjoy. And unfortunately, due to the way the anime and manga industry is struggling, they kind of have to do things like that in order to get any audience they possibly can, and a lot of times that particular market is going to come and watch and buy the stuff, so they're going to continue catering to that. But I really wish they would take a lot of that stuff out of series that I watch. Another problem I have, and this is more so with battle manga and battle anime, is the DBZ inspiration. Don't get me wrong, I love that DBZ is a very influential series. A lot of people were inspired to do this series because of Dragon Ball Z when they were growing up or even now, but I feel as though, why is it that almost every battle series has to have some DBZ? Whether it be the Ki Blast, the Orange Gi, the Super Saiyan-like transformation. I always see it in a lot of battle manga and a lot of battle anime in general. And it's just like, I would really like it if people started going a little bit more outside of this DBZ inspiration box and just doing other things. Because don't get me wrong, I love it. I think DBZ, definitely paved the way and created a platform and a standard for a shonen battle series. But I just think that at this point it's become oversaturated, and almost every series, especially in Jump, has some sort of DBZ reference or DBZ inspired theme in it. Now this is again another repetitive thing that I see in a lot of series, and that's teasing relationships. You know it from all the pairing wars, Narusaku, Naruhina, all these relationships that are constantly teased, but they never really dive into it, and if they do dive into it, it's literally at the end of the series. For once in a while, I would like for them to just get together within the series early on, and then if the relationship falls apart or lasts, that'd be great. But I hate it when they constantly tease relationships or they flirt a little here and there and it never really goes anywhere, especially if it never goes anywhere throughout the entire series. That's worse, because it's just like you flirted and played with the emotions of the readers that maybe these characters might get together at some given point, and then only for it to absolutely never go anywhere. It's really annoying, and it takes out of the realism of a series, especially if it's like a fantasy series with a little bit of realism of like relationships and teasing it, and then if it never goes nowhere, then it's just like, what was the point to flirting with it to begin with? I understand you're trying to bring a little extra element to your series, but actually make sure that it goes somewhere when you're doing it. Now, next thing I'm going to talk about is sort of related to the last one, and that's where pretty much the main character, or a character in general, is like this chick magnet, has all these girls after him, but he's cliche and is always scared of them, and it's like, no, boobies! Tsukune from Rosario Vampire and Minato from Sekirei definitely are examples of what I'm talking about. The characters, they have all this ass getting thrown at them, left and right, and they just are like scared and petrified of it. I mean, come on, let's be a man for 1 second and think what would really happen in the real world. Now, I'm not saying to go school days on it and be boning every bitch in sight, because I mean, school days is a perfect example of what happens when you do that. But I am saying it would be nice for them to every once in a while be a man and do something about all these beautiful women coming at them. It really gets annoying, and at times I tend to call that the Tsunayoshi Sawada effect. That's a Hit Mary Born reference in case you don't know. And last but not least, it's anime-only endings as well as series being cut short before they can have a proper ending. Seasonal animes are notorious for having anime-only endings, even long-running series as well, and a lot of times I definitely feel as though it is very disrespectful to a fan base, especially for a long-running series, to have an anime-only ending that totally messes up the continuity or just totally messes with the series in general. If you want to do an anime-only ending like Berserk, where it just kind of leaves off a certain place, then fine, but when you're doing something that totally changes shit up, it just really gets things twisted and makes things feel a little bit like, endings? No. I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of series do have anime-only endings because they're not gonna constantly pretty much adapt every piece of material that was created. But it would be nice for every now and then a series to go back and animate the rest of the series that it adapted when the manga actually ends. Because a lot of the times it just feels like, wow, so now I gotta go and read the manga even though I initially just wanted to watch the anime. And then the series that are cut short before they can have proper endings and have lackluster endings, hence Hungry Joker and many other series from Jump that get cut off because they don't have an audience. It's just really frustrating because it's like, you know the series has so much potential, you know the series can do so many other things, but it ends up just getting cut to something that is just like very lackluster, and it's just like, I read this series, I invested my time, I would appreciate it if you guys would invest a little bit more time into giving it proper closure. I guess for the anime only endings, a big solution to that would be to wait for a lot of these series to end in manga form before they adapt the material. That way they could do the entire story and not worry about, oh well, we'll catch up at some given point, or we don't want to invest so much money in doing an ongoing show. And the being cut off short part, there's really no solution to that at the moment, but I just say, like, if they are going to cut them short, at least give them a decent amount of time to get a proper ending, and don't do it so quick to the point where it's just like, what do you do? So these are my problems that I have in anime and manga, things that just really get me kind of annoyed and just tick me off every now and then. What do you guys think? Are there any particular problems in anime or manga that you get really annoyed with? Things that you see that just really tick you off? Let me know in the comment section below or with a video response, because I always love to talk about stuff that I love in anime and manga, but every now and then there's some stuff that I kind of want to address that get me a little bit annoyed. That's all I have for you guys today. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thumbs up for anime and manga that have very minimal problems, because while these problems do exist in a lot of series, there are some series that avoid many problems that anime and manga have nowadays. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.